again. Been a while. Um, yeah, been a bit busy with lots of different things. Delving into obviously watching the charts and stuff still, but yeah, haven't really seen the need. Pretty much what we were discussing about in the last videos has all come true into the drop that we've had. But one, I wanted to get back into it a little bit more frequently, trading again a little bit more frequently. Basically, going to be looking at some pretty cool indicators and things. Keep putting this out there again, help myself accountable. So, for those that don't know, I'm Rangadad, and this is basically just how I'm seeing the market. Started doing this because I'm seeing influencers, even ones that I really respected, not really looking at things in a way that was conducive to people not losing all their money big drop. So basically, it just turned into me doing this so that it holds myself accountable for trades that I make. So it makes me look at the market in more detail, makes me a better trader overall. So anyway, with that all out of the way, we'll get into it. And I'm actually going to start with ETH today just because it's obviously really close to the merge. People say dump, people say off. I am not 100% sure. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we get a sell event after the merge. Depends on how much of the staked ETH gets released and people are to sell it, but also just generally sell the event type thing could happen. And at the moment, it's a hard one to pick. In the last few months, I've been mainly using Traders Reality Indicator. For those of you that haven't heard of them, it shows the candles a little bit differently. You zoom in here, we're looking at the daily time frame. Basically, it highlights candles. The bright green ones are candles where there's been number of trades that's more than 200% average. And then pink candles are, so green and red are the same. They're all 200% more of the average, but it's obviously green's up and red's down. Pink or purpley color, and the blue, which blue somewhere. There we go. There's a blue there. They're I think 150% above above the normal trading volume. So what that's just indicating is that there's a lot of interest from the market in that area, price in a direction. Doesn't necessarily mean prices can up, anything like that. It's actually depending on where the price action is at compared to the 50 moving average, which is this blue line, out around that 50 moving average, Bollinger Band around your 50 moving average. Depending on where price is, vectors, as they call them, highlighted candles, can tell you sort of where things may. This pink one here is a bit of a stopping volume candle, so you'd actually, given that from the moving average. But if you're sort of away from these other moving averages or this 50 EMA, it normally indicates that strong and there's Now, we had a pretty good base around here, reasonable volumes and things in this area, reasonable. Since then, mid-July basically, pretty good run on these. Quickly look. Look, it's still, if you're looking at it on a weekly, still around this big spike here. So I'm expecting it to go either way from something's going to. Now, we look at it on the weekly, not a hell of a lot. This is the accumulation distribution indicator down the bottom here. Generally, I've been sort of playing around with it, and when it gets this red indicator here, it tends to be pretty close to the bottom. Depends on the time frame as to how this is. Again, it's just one sort of indicator that I'm looking at. See, are we going up? Are we generally on the shorter time frames, not necessarily the weekly? Once you get up and it starts to sort of get a few time periods above green territory, that tends to be around where you get 100% in this case. Just something shorter time. Anyway, we're at a pretty critical point here. 50 EMA on the weekly is still a little way away, and that's actually somewhere where I'm fairly cognizant that it may actually at or get at somewhere with Japan within that purple range there. So the other indicator I'm looking at here is the Privacy Smurf RSI indicator. Big shout out to Privacy Smurf. He's got cool tools out there. Really knows his stuff. And generally, if you're below this red line, this is kind of a smooth RSI. These bands, can't really explain the way he explains it, but essentially, if you, I'm looking at it as far as we're outside the red, we're below the red, particularly if this green line is below that middle, below that 50, we're below the red, expecting a move up and a reasonable move up. If we're above the green, let's just if we're above the green, then particularly okay, here we're above the green. The reds come in close to the middle, and we've got a significant down. Generally, that's what we're above the green. Red's getting close to the center line. Then you're looking for a down in price, and the opposite's the case. Red. At the moment, though, we're ranging a little bit. Price did come up and hit just over that 2000 mark, which is the 200-day moving average. Smacked it spot on and came straight back. We're in the process of recovering this vector candle. So the other thing with the vectors is price normally comes back stage. So here you could almost claim that that is recovery of this vector. 50% candle, but I'd still expect a little bit more recovery. Not expecting it to get up to these sort of levels. These candles back here yet. Time. more looking at from probably come down a little bit here. Take some stage, come down and take the and potentially recover. So not kind of in no man's land, which you do normally expect moving into big news and big events, urgent things, CPI data out to the US. Depending on what happens there, I'm kind of expecting, given we are above this 50 EMA on the daily, I'm potentially expecting a little bit of a drawdown, pump back up. I think given the 800 moving average and 800 moving average is 200 moving average. I would expect it to come here and touch this if there's good news. Data, then potentially we probably going to range for a little bit more. You look at the last bear markets and crypto winters and stuff like that, we're going to get some range. This may have been bottom-ish. Would expect over 6 months or so to retest this. If ETH goes nuts and Surge is successful and everyone's using it and crypto adoption, then yep, no, crazy. They've hit the bottom. But to tell that, so we just look at the price action at the moment. I'm not expecting to get much higher than this. If we do break above this, I would be expecting above, retrace. If we confirm a break above that, then we're going to have a pretty good run. Much stopping it. Sort of area. 6. But at the moment, given there's some decent vectors on the daily down here, would expect it to come back reasonably soon. That's how I'm seeing things at the moment. I'll do some different videos on different coming days, but yeah, I just don't know strength in the global market. This Nasdaq's in QQQ to be bound. The 800 and the 50 and 200 day moving average. Yeah, if it breaks either side of this, pretty decent. 2 or downside to potentially. I mean, this is a pretty important 269. Probably come to that 294, 295. Yeah, breaks below 269. We pause at 50, 230. There's still, this is still a downtrending market. Has put in a higher low here, Achilles. If we get the honest, but stranger things have happened. Into a very interesting global energy crisis. War's still going. Europe and things like that. Can't see the market being a particularly strong one. Then again, markets always, they're normally going up. Then, so anyway, that's where things are at. My perspective, starting to get back into a little bit more, start to average in a bit more, keeping a funny little moment. Oh, and I'll undo these probably every 2 days or so. Particular time into the month, anything like that. ETH shorts are still really low, so that's a good sign. Interesting. Too crazy. Betting the house on ETH going to the moon. Urge, that's all. All right.